Hello, join us as we cover 10 board games that recently captured the attention of the Watch It Played team and discuss why each one caught our eye. These are games on our radar. Hello! If you're always keen on discovering new games, and others you may have previously overlooked, then you've come to the right place. Because we're kicking off this episode with a game that Matthew was skeptical about, but completely won him over. Kabanga. Originally released last year in German and now available in English. In Kabanga, players try to discard their hand as quickly as possible, ideally without picking up penalties along the way. Players take turns placing their cards in a shared row in the middle, ideally with as small a difference as possible, because the larger the number gap, the greater the chance another player will call out Kabanga and give the player cards that fill in that gap. Matthew isn't here to talk about why he picked Kabanga because he's currently been turned into a small canister of organic diced tomatoes. But don't worry, most doctors and daytime talk show hosts say the condition is only temporary and he should make a full recovery. In the meantime, joining me to share Matthew's thoughts on Kabanga is the titan of tabletop tutorials, the internet's instructional institution, the only guy that Matthew shared his thoughts on Kabanga with, Rodney Smith.
Thank you, Paula. Matthew mentioned that he played Kabanga with a great group of people, but they all went into the game with some skepticism. However, they soon all fell in love with it. Kabanga requires you to get rid of your cards, but doing so creates number gaps that can be filled by other players to your detriment. If they have a card that they can play into a gap you made, you have to draw more cards. And that's not what you want. You want fewer cards. No cards, really. The eventual lacking of cards is the whole point that you're driving towards as you play the game. It's silly fun that confirmed to Matthew that Amiga's small box card games still has what he likes to make big fun from a small but great idea.
Thanks, Rodney. And before we get to your first game pick of the month, let's thank another card game with big ideas and a lot of heart. Rebel Princess Deluxe Edition from Bezier Games. One night, Snow White, the Little Mermaid, and Cinderella all meet at a party, when suddenly, all the Prince Charmings of the land show up, uninvited, with delusions of grandeur and marriage proposals. Now, each princess must use her unique power to navigate the evening, avoiding these unwanted marriage proposals in order to remain a rebel princess. Rebel Princess reintroduces the classic card game of hearts, but in this case, the hearts being avoided are those of the party-crashing princess. Rebel Princess is currently available for pre-order through the link in this video's description, and it will be reaching stores in August, along with its deluxe edition, which upgrades princess cards to boards, introduces 2 new princesses, Rapunzel and Thumbelina, adds 7 new tarot-sized round cards, and a new Rebel of the Ball mechanism to shoot the moon. Pick up Rebel Princess this August in stores and at the Bezier Games booth at Gen Con. In the game A Message from the Stars, a team of scientists seeks to decipher cryptic messages from an extraterrestrial civilization. The catch: the messages are incomprehensible, written in an entirely alien language. Kind of like the scripts for these On the Radar episodes. Now, using deductive reasoning and organic cranial computers, players collaborate to send messages back to their extraterrestrial authors. Each interaction yields a numerical value, a piece of the puzzle that you'll need to solve the riddle of the alien language.
There are so many games. So many games! How do you decide which ones are worth your time? Well, there are a few different ways. You might conduct research by reading the rules, or maybe even videos like this one can be helpful, but sometimes, it just takes a picture. And that's all it took for me with this one. I saw this, and all critical thought flew out of my brain. 3 dice propped up on a display that creates a Mad Gabs-like prompt. What's that all about? Well, apparently, it's a cooperative or competitive deduction-style game about decoding messages from outer space. I'm a huge fan of another game from a different publisher called Decrypto, and after watching the publisher's tutorial for this game, I got a sense this one's going to be right up my alley in a similar way. If this game is sending me a message from outer space, I've already received and decoded it, and it said, as soon as I'm available, you're going to buy me.
Joining us now to guide us on to the next game pick is Chaz, with a game that he's been looking forward to sharing, Landmarks. So there you are, lost deep in an island jungle with a group of your equally lost friends relying on you to guide them to safety and treasure. Now, you'll use words to guide them out of the jungle. What else would you use? Breadcrumbs you've left in the jungle? I don't know. But you're going to use words to guide them out of the jungle by employing strategic wordplay to create a chain of one-word clues. And that gives them a path. The connections between the words creates a path. If I would read the script, I would know what was coming up, leading to fortune and glory, or danger and despair. Landmarks is a word game of hidden paths and clever clues where every word matters.
It's going to be pretty much impossible for me to mention this game without comparing it to Codenames. I mean, come on, you're doing it too. I know you are, because yeah, let's admit it. They're both based on using word clues to get your teammates to select specific locations while also avoiding pitfalls. Yeah, I know you thought of that. But also, did you realize that the players create the words on the board with the clues that they give as they go along, which is different? And slightly less different is that there's both a competitive and a cooperative mode to Landmarks. True, yes, original Codenames is competitive and Codenames Duet is cooperative, but Landmarks combines them both in one box. As such, Landmarks could certainly be a great addition to one's word game selections, and is a game that I'm really glad that my own path has led to.
Oh, hey, Chaz, while you're here, maybe you can lend me a hand with Monique and Naveen's first pick too. The single-player game, Black Sonata, where players attempt to finally solve English literature's greatest mystery. Who is the mysterious Dark Lady in William Shakespeare's sonnets?
Oh, Abigail Pennington.
Huh?
The Dark Lady is Abigail Pennington. She was a 17th century seamstress or something like that who lived in Oxfordshire on the outskirts of London. And she made a bunch of the costumes for the initial run of many of Shakespeare's plays.
Really?
No, not at all. Actually, nobody knows who she really was, but we do know that in Black Sonata, players find themselves in Shakespeare's London, circa 1600, in pursuit of the shadowy lady, who may or may not be Abigail Pennington, but probably most certainly is not.
The game features a specially ordered deck of cards. I'm sorry, when I first read this, I was like, specially ordered, like, doesn't that make this game different? I'm like, every game specially orders their cards for their game. It's not a unique thing, but it means specially ordered, like in a specific order. The game features a specially ordered deck of cards that determines the not Abigail Pennington person's hidden movements from place to place. Then, you must deduce her location and intercept her to catch a glimpse and gain a clue to her identity.
You'll need to collect multiple clues, but with each one gained, the lady becomes harder and harder to track. Black Sonata combines hidden movement, logical deduction, and a bit of pushing your luck in order to solve this age-old mystery that I probably just solved for everybody.
Monique says she really loved playing this solo game. She always finds deduction games to be a treat, and this one has a neat card-based system that provides lots of fun moments while exploring the city of London. And London is just one of the cities you could visit in the first game that's on my radar this month, the upcoming Cities, where you've been tasked to transform a whole neighborhood with new housing, office buildings, parks, and leisure areas near the waterfront. It is in your hands to make the city a better place. Various tiles depicting parks, water, and buildings are placed on spaces of the same color to form structures. Players draft the best projects and arrange them in their playing area, and at the end of the game, the developer who has gained the most points from achievements and their scoring cards wins.
Paula was drawn to this game the moment she saw its design team. Phil Walker Harding, Steve Finn, and Abigail Pennington.
It's also the weight of the game that is hitting just right for me right now. Easy to learn mechanisms with a tricky puzzle to solve. Turns are simple. Place a worker to draft a tile to expand your neighborhood, grab buildings that improve that neighborhood, get fun features to make your neighborhood more appealing, or get a scoring card to help you capitalize on all those other things. There are lots of fun scoring opportunities, personal goals, public goals you're racing for, and lots of chances to take what someone else needs and giggle about it. Or, be the one shaking your fist at how you won't be able to get that perfect tile because they took it. I really liked it, and I'm looking forward to playing it more and showing it to my friends. In the meantime, my friend Matthew had another game to show me, his second pick of the month, the My Hero Academia collectible card game. Students of Class 1A are challenged to build powerful decks, battling rivals with cards developed around the characters and quirks of the My Hero Academia manga and anime series.
Wave number 1 of My Hero Academia, CCG, includes the 2-player rival deck, booster packs, and a series of playmats featuring iconic characters from the anime. This installment of the game is also compatible with the previous universe releases, while also, get this, they are designed to be more approachable for brand new players.
My Hero Academia is a collectible card game based on My Hero Academia, presented here in the form of a collectible card game.
I received a slightly burnt telegram from Matthew's attorney in which he reminds me that the My Hero Academia collectible card game is part of the Universus card battling system. It's a trading card game that began as a way to recreate fighting arcade games. It's had a bunch of different iterations and a long, weird history, but it's really good. You know what else has a long, weird history but is really good?
The My Hero Academia collectible card game?
Abigail Pennington?
The eternal conflict for the land of Ironwood, which has raged for countless generations in the game Ironwood, a highly asymmetric, card-driven tactical game for 1 or 2 players. The game features a rule set that's designed to be easy to learn, and 2 factions. I am not a crook. And 2 factions that are completely asymmetric in their play styles. Decks, victory conditions, even in which parts of the map they can access. The commander of the Ironclad wants to lay the foundations of their forges in the Outer Mountains, while the chieftain of the Woodwalkers races to locate ancient totems and finally secure them in the Outer Forest beyond the Ironclad's reach. Monique reached for this game, which she says she and Naveen have really enjoyed due to its asymmetric card-driven aspects and amount of tension that the game is able to build. I am not a crook. The next game whetting our appetite is River of Gold, which hooked Chaz with the lure of taking on the role of river merchants allied with legendary samurai clans, each vying to exploit the river to earn wealth, glory, and wisdom. Its gameplay is designed to be fast and clever with minimal downtime, with games lasting about an hour, as players invest in developing ports, markets, shrines, and more along the banks of a busy river. Grow your wealth, influence delivery contracts, and visit the nobility to garner a bit of divine favor as you make your way down the River of Gold.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever had 2 different games become entwined in your mind, even if they're not actually related to one another? I have. And in fact, I am experiencing that right now. Because this is the case for me with River of Gold. Sure, the contract-driven, economic, dice-infused aspects of River of Gold already check a lot of boxes for me all by themselves. But also, for some reason, this game reminds me of another game of making wagers while floating down a watery way. Manila from 2005. Now, do the 2 games share anything else in common other than their roaring river setting? Probably not, actually, but it doesn't matter. The deed has been done. Even though I know, and I know that I know that I know that, I still have the 2 games conflated up in my brain box, which, in a weird way, is making me interested in it even more.
And more waves await in Pirates of Maracaibo, Rodney's other pick of the month, where danger and adventure await as scurvy scoundrels search the seas high and low for the most valuable treasures. Then quickly find a safe harbor to stash the priceless gold and jewels they find. Explore, stockpile cargo, hire crew, and commandeer rival ships, but don't forget to bring along a sturdy spade or shovel so you can bury your loot. Some sort of scoop. Even a trowel would work, I suppose, if that's all you have available. I would suggest an industrial excavator, but I guess that probably won't fit in the ship's cargo hold, would it? So, industrial excavator's out. Well, I'm all out of ideas. So now you're on your own in Pirates of Maracaibo, where players will race to outpace your opponents as they make trips to find enough plunder to eventually retire as the richest and greatest buccaneer of all time.
I never played the original Maracaibo. I heard it was great, but you know how it is. So many games, so little time. But they piqued my interest with this one, and all they had to do was put the word pirates in the title, the sneaky devils. Ever since reading Treasure Island as a kid and playing Sid Meier's Pirates as a slightly older kid, I've loved the pirate theme, but haven't quite found the pirate board game I'm looking for. In a pirate game, I want to be putting together a crew, customizing my ship, exploring the oceans, and hunting for treasure. From my investigations into this game, it offers all the above with a side of pirate raids thrown in. And while it might be on my radar for now, I also placed an order for it yesterday, so soon it will also be on my game table.
And your intuition probably told you that our #1 game is my second pick of the month, Divinus, a competitive legacy tile-laying digital hybrid game in which you play as a demigod seeking to gain the favor of the gods and ascend to a new pantheon. Players embark on a 12-scenario campaign during which they'll decide the outcome of dilemmas, such as choosing which side is victorious in battle, building or destroying a holy site, and choosing whether a god lives or dies. Whichever outcome the player chooses, the game components may be changed, and the Divinus app will remember and present contextual options in the future that are impacted by the decision. How cool is that? A really fun Euro tile-laying campaign game that has an app that remembers your past choices and has an effect on future stories you keep playing the game. And you get to put stickers on things. That may be what sent me over the edge about Divinus, the stickers to put on things. That and maybe choosing who lives and who dies. I mean, it's nice when your job can also be your hobby. And if your hobby is playing board games, then you can continue on to our most recent People's Choice video, which lists 10 games that other viewers have been playing. Some new, some old, and always some unexpected. Until next time, I've been Abigail Pennington, and thanks for watching.